Welcome to medieval times! My name is MrBerice, and today we're going to be learning how to forge a samurai sword. Okay, so it looks like you heat it up. You know, I don't think the blacksmiths of old had that type of heavy equipment. Imagine if you didn't have that press, you'd be doing that by hand. All right, looks like he's cooling it down. A little bit of wet tissue paper. I guess those are metal shavings. And, oh, what is that, mud water? I think that kind of helps it bind together. All right, we're going back to the forge. Oh, cool, you see that? It looks like he's folding the metal in half, just using a little thing. So I heard those samurai swords, they fold them like 1,000 times. I guess it makes it stronger. I mean, I don't know. Okay, now it's starting to shape it more specifically with the hammer. Wet sanding it. I guess that's some type of something, the wet sand, I don't really know. Wow, look at that. That is beautiful. That is so cool. I always wanted my own samurai sword. I'm gonna get one. How were the pyramids built? Everyone is always debating this. They say it's aliens or technology. This is the video for you. I love this video. It's gonna explain everything. Okay, that's Stonehenge in England. I always wanted to go there. I haven't been yet. That's a 300-pound block. You just built some tracks to roll it. That one's 1,600 pounds. Look, he just built some type of piece of wood to help move it and give him leverage, like a wedge or a fulcrum and stuff like that. Okay, so what he's doing here is he's taking that block that's many thousands of pounds and he's gonna slowly lift it up by rocking it to one side, putting a piece of wood, rocking it to the other side, putting a piece of wood, and slowly lift it up so he can finally turn it over and slide it into that hole that he has underneath the block. See, I don't know. I never really bought into the whole the pyramids were built by aliens or something. It's just leverage and manpower and probably a lot of time. How to build a house. Okay, so first you want to clear the lot, move some dirt around, then build your foundation, footings. Looks like they're building some type of basement. You can see the wire mesh before they lay down the concrete. Looks like they already got the plywood flooring down. They're starting to build some of the walls. Okay, that's what's called a boom truck. That's gonna lift your trusses up and put them on top of the house. And you're gonna have the pitch for your your roofing. I did roofing one summer in the Texas heat, and I was on that roof all day, and it was brutally hot. That tar paper and the tar roofing was just radiating heat. How to make medieval armor. First, you want to start with your base material, which is a little bit of sheet metal, and draw out those unfolded shapes, which you're later going to cut out. Now, this guy's using a grinder and a press. Now, once again, back in the day, they didn't have that stuff, so they'd probably be using just hammers. Can you imagine how strong these guys must have been? Looks like he's using a cutting torch to kind of heat it up so it becomes more malleable. You can shape it better with that. Wow, look at that machine. It's kind of like a press, but it's like shaped, like almost like a horseshoe. Look at the intricacy of that skirt. It's all a whole bunch of different strips. Looks like it's riveted on. I bet it took him a long time to make that. Matter of fact, how long do you think it took him to make this whole thing? I would say it probably took him weeks and weeks, even with that machinery to help him out. I mean, come on. Looks like it's got some type of kiln to heat it up. Maybe it's to harden it, I'm not really sure. I think with the invention of that heavy armor from the French and the English, it really put them on a whole nother level and helped them dominate. But it also become their downfall because it can be countered with better maneuverability and mobility from lighter armored troops. Ooh, shiny. Guys, we really need your help. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers and we're not quite there yet. So if you subscribe, that's gonna be a huge help. Also, hitting the like button or comment is gonna give us a huge boost and we really appreciate it. Also, if you do any one of those three things, it's gonna put you in the running to win 500 doll hairs. How to build roads. Now, it's not quite medieval roads, but it's pretty much the same thing. Have you ever seen the Chris Farley movie Black Sheep, where he's like Roads. Roads. Wow, look at that red tar. It almost looks like the, at the track, the material around the track you run around. Fancy. That is some heavy machinery. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, dude, look at that. It's like shaping the curb on the thing as they go. I've never seen that before. That looks awesome. Whoa, dude. See all those trucks just pulling up to it? Is that how they actually build the highways? I guess I've never seen them actually lay down the concrete part. Now, I guess I thought that they put the forms and laid concrete and let it cure, but I mean, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, now we're gonna be repairing some cracks using some hot tar. You know, back in the medieval days, one of the punishments they did was to hot tar and feather someone to humiliate them. But imagine how hot that tar was. That would be brutal torture. And that's how to build a road. Now we're gonna learn how to build a bridge. I don't know about you, but I always loved watching that show, How It's Made. So this is just like that. Now first you gotta drive some pylons into the ground through the water. And look at that machine, man. That thing is incredible. It's just driving that pylon down. I don't know how they could do it without something like that. I imagine those things are super deep into the ground. You know, because all that water is moving around, it makes the ground kind of like, you know, wet. So I would imagine the pylons could move, so they gotta be super deep. Whoa, what the heck is that thing? Have you ever seen those boats that can like lower some type of box down there and then pump all the water out so guys can walk around on the seafloor without the water being there? Reminds me of that. I always love this type of industrial level engineering. It reminds me of oil and gas where like, especially when you go offshore. I remember I was on the workboat looking up. The rig is just towering 100 feet plus to the deck above you, just on a massive scale. The anchors were like 2 school buses big. Remember we put one on the deck? Oh my gosh, massive. I really like how those suspension bridges look with the cables. I always wanted to go visit the San Francisco Bridge, the red one. Oh, it's on the bucket list. I can't wait to go. Now we're gonna build a medieval fort. Or one for kids. All right, so this guy's gonna build a little fort. Gotta have a swing. That fort is massive. Remember, we have one in our backyard. It was like half that size. So first, of course, you're gonna have something like a 4x4 post. You're gonna have 4 of them. Block them together with, looks like 2x6 and some screws. Of course, you gotta have that child labor helping them.
JK.
Plans, he's gonna read some blueprints. I mean, of course, we're men, so we don't look at those. Looks like he's got his older son helping him now. All right, cutting some. Ooh, looks like he's gonna have, what's that called? The monkey bars. Yeah, I remember those. Those are so much fun. I remember when we put ours together, it was like really hard to get the other block onto those monkey bars. You just had them like, they were just like dangling there and like you couldn't get them in. That was like the hardest part. That is actually a massive jungle gym. I can't believe it. I wish I had one like that. Of course, they always have a beautiful slide. Underwater welding. So I had a friend back in the day that did underwater welding. It's gotta be like 12 plus years ago. Now, he wasn't even on the high level, but he was making well over 100,000 a year. But this is one of those jobs that I don't know if I would wanna do because it can be pretty dangerous. One, of course, there's wildlife down there that can attack you like sharks. 2, I mean, you get down there and it's pitch black. You can't see anything. You know, they luckily have a hose line tied to them, so kind of like tethers them in. Otherwise, you could get lost. But probably the biggest thing is the pressure down there. The water pressure is so high that these guys, they go so deep that they have to go into a compression chamber to slowly decompress that air so that, you know, it could damage them. You can cause an air bubble to form in your brain or something. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but here they're showing a picture of stuff that's actually happened when an underwater welder was sucked into the bottom of an oil pipe and went hundreds of feet, got sucked up into that pipe, and he actually survived incredibly. But I would recommend welding in general because you can make quite a bit of money. I wouldn't go underwater, but it reminds me of my oil and gas days when I was working on the rig. I was trying to get these ROV jobs, remotely operated vehicles, and they'd have a tether, and they'd have like a little rover go all the way down into the bottom of the seafloor. So cool. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. I hope you had a blast. I know I sure did. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we really need your help. Hitting a like and comment also helps us, and we do appreciate that. And It's all hairs. Come on. Next video is right around the corner.